What's up, my treasure trackers? Bringing you another, my first One Piece game actually. I went to my local tutorial event, I think they called it, and someone brought proxies of all the star decks. So I thought it was a great opportunity to like record a game and introduce my viewership to it. I'm kind of excited for the game. I'm looking forward to it. This is the red Luffy deck versus blue Crocodile. The blue Crocodile deck is more of like all the seven warlords, and the Luffy deck's all the Straw Hat Pirates. So it's an interesting game. I've never been a fan of leader games. Vanguard, Flesh and Blood I kind of consider a leader game, but I don't know. I'm really interested in how like resource management works in this game. So they use kind of a land system. It's called Dawn, and on your first turn you get one, and like turn player gets one. And then after that, every player gets two. So the second player's first turn, they get two. And you can attach Dawn, you can move Dawn around, depending. Like Luffy's ability is he can take a consumed Dawn and put it under him. And so, which gives him Dawn, if they're under your characters, give your characters 1k bonus, or your leader, but characters, same thing. He swings at his opponent for 6k, which would have given his opponent a chance to counter. He chose not to counter, so he takes the hit of life. But unlike Digimon, that life goes to your hand instead, which is pretty interesting. Blue player decides to swing at Luffy, and then the red player is allowed to counter with a card in his hand, which is, he used Kaku, I think, who is a 1k counter. You need to win an attack. Always favors the attacker. So if there's a draw, like 5k versus 5k, the attacker will win that attack, right? There is no stalemate, as there would like in Digimon, like both Digimon would die if there was a tie. No, this favors the attacker. So he swung with 5k, so to prevent the life loss, he needed the 1k to be 6k. Plays a Chopper and a Sanji, and then puts 2 Dawn under Sanji, because if this game also has summoning sickness just like Digimon, but Sanji, if he has 2 Dawn under him, he gains rush if he has 2 Dawn under him. So now this Sanji, the Luffy swings and he takes the damage. So now the blue player is at 3 life, and just like Digimon, it's 5 life. Well, the amount of life you have is dependent on your character cards. So both Crocodile and Luffy are 5 life cards. Later on we'll see cards that only give you 4 life, but just like in Digimon, you need to swing at the player after all their life is gone, right? So in essence you need 6 swings on the opponent to win the game, just like Digimon. So if you're familiar with, if you're watching this channel, you're probably familiar with Digimon. So just remember, if they're at 0 life, you still need to hit them one more time. Long story short. The blue player has played Mihawk. He's gonna put a Dawn under him, because his effect is when attacking, if he has a Dawn under him, he can trash 2 cards or he can draw 2 cards to trash 2 cards. He's going to swing at the Jinbei. So the red player could have opted to counter and try to, prevent the loss of the body, but chose not to, and the blue player discards 2 cards. I think it's a Kuma and something else. Not a big deal. He's going to swing now. Our blue player is going to swing Jinbei over Sanji. I think that Jinbei is 6k or something, versus Sanji, who I know is 3k card. He opts to lose the bodies, and Chopper is a blocker, so he's going to block the attack and lose his body. Just like in Digimon, blockers, you can suspend them to redirect the attack, and then normal rules apply. You can counter to try to win the DP battle, or what have you. Is it called DP in this game? I'm gonna call it DP for now, but someone can definitely change it or correct me, because I'm not too versed in this game yet. Here, I don't know. This game is, I feel like this game is very interesting when it comes to resource management. And red player plays a Brook. on play, you can equip Rested Dawn onto a leader or a character. So he kind of like pays for himself in a way when you think about it, because you could play him, use the Dawn that you just used up to play him to put under a different character. And now that Luffy is going to be 7k, now he's gonna be 8k because he used Luffy's effect. Luffy says once per turn put a Rested Dawn under him, and now he's gonna be 8k. So now he has to choose he's gonna choose to swing. I think he chooses to swing at the leader, and it's up to he's just gonna block, right? So there's a lot of resource management in this game, like how many counter cards you still have in hand, how many blockers, bodies on board. This isn't like Digimon where you can just kind of flood the board. You're only allowed, it's more like Yu-Gi-Oh actually, where you can only have 5 characters on board, and then your leader makes it 6, right? He's gonna swing with Mihawk at Luffy, Mihawk being 5k, 6k, so the red player is going to need to counter or just take the hit of damage. This is another part of where like I think the resource management in this game is really interesting, because you can opt to intentionally take the damage, because then you know that card is going to come into your hand, giving you more resources for the crackback. And that dynamic like is so interesting, because like rewatching your games is going to be crazy, because like, oh, should I have countered this attack? Would have been better if I saved this attack and then taken the hit to get more resources to play the card later. I don't know. There's a lot more. I feel like this game has a lot of avenues for I don't want to say skill expression or like play styles, but like the correct line of play isn't as obvious as I feel like it can be in Digimon a lot of the time. A blue player swings with Crocodile, and the red player counters with a 1k Nico Robin counter, which, again, would you take the damage there? Gain a card, you're still at 4 life, you have a healthy life total, you can afford to take one. Okay, Jinbei, swing Jinbei, take the damage. Now he's got more cards in hand. And again, like unlike in Digimon where Digivolving draws you cards, a lot of things can kind of draw you cards, and you can like filter your hand a lot in Digimon. And then, I mean, to be fair, it's still a new game, so once the power creep gets going, I'm sure there's gonna be a lot more hand filtering, but that's it, man, right? Like you only really get the card you draw for the turn, and then like any life that any cards you gain from like the life, like any hits you've taken. So I find that pretty interesting. Definitely for now we'll slow down the games, make them all about, like I said, like I've been saying, resource management. Let me know if you're interested in One Piece. I definitely want to explore it. I definitely want my channel to be about the things I enjoy doing and playing, and like if my viewer base is literally only in it for Digimon, I really don't know. Maybe I should just stick with Digimon, but I would like to. There's some content creators out there that explore multiple card games, and I definitely like, that's where I want to be with my channel, and hopefully people respect that and stay with me. Plays Sanji, gives him 2 Dawn. Plays Luffy, gives him 1 Rested Dawn. So he's gonna have a bunch of attacks. I think the red player plays Yu-Gi-Oh, so he's not really aware of like how suspending works when it comes to attacking. Like he like, you notice there, I think he's attacking with the Luffy, but oh, interesting. Okay, so the blue player actually counters with 2 1k counters, a Weevil and a Pacifista, and then uses the counter opportunity to bounce the Sanji, right? Because you can only use counter cards. It's like you can only use counter cards during a specific window of events. So he chose to, like, the Luffy swung, and then he countered the Luffy attack, and then used 2 Dawn to bounce the Sanji while he had that trigger window available, if that makes sense. And we're just gonna get that Zoro out of here with another thrust pad punch, the same card he used earlier to bounce a 3 card or less, but interesting play nonetheless. using the second attack to take that opportunity to do that, right? So now both players are sitting around 10 Dawn now. That's a lot. I feel like this is one of my worries about the game. It's like once a player hits 10 Dawn, like in theory, like I feel like sometimes the games will just be over. So we'll see how that goes. Using the Mihawk effect to trash 2, gain 2 again, or gain 2, draw 2 again, or fuck, draw 2, discard 2 again. Just a lot of hand filtering. He's not really gaining advantage. He's just getting a more crafted hand, which is I like. He's going to 5k versus 5k, so he has to counter. Chooses to counter with another Kaku for 1k. The blue player is going to pay 5 for a character Crocodile. This guy has blocker, and then if he has a Dawn under him and he blocks, he will tuck I think it's 3 cost or lower guy. So it's a very interesting kind of blocker mechanic. I don't know where that brook went, but here we are now. Oh, okay. So he also used Crocodile's effect to put 2 Dawn or 4 Dawn back into the deck to bounce a 4 cost or lower back to the opponent's hand, which that effect lets you pick any 4 Dawn. So something you can do is you can spend the mana, or Dawn, I'm going to call it mana, sorry. Spend the mana and then recycle that mana back into the Dawn deck to bounce whatever. And it's a very interesting like dynamic back and forth where you can be with your Dawn in the Crocodile deck right now. All right, 2 Dawn. He did that in the wrong order, but I think they're going to give it to him. So he played the Sanji, played the Brook, and then used that Brook to put the memory under. Or maybe they're just playing this wrong? Because he keeps... I'm confused. So he keeps playing it and then using Dawn to put under it, but you can't... I don't think you can use Suspended Dawn to put under cards like that. And maybe that's what they're catching. I'm pretty sure that's not how it works. Okay, so they're fixing the board state here, and luckily enough, he has the mana to do it. Look, everyone's new at this game. There's gonna be mechanics people are gonna mess up, and like the whole reason I've slowed this video down and like put cards on the screen for you guys to read is specifically because it's new. I mean, I don't expect myself to do this often, but and here, this is where I was telling. He blocks with the Crocodile, counters the damage by going to 7k, and then uses the Crocodile effect when he blocks to tuck a guy under. And so the red player lost his Sanji that didn't get to attack, and then this, and avoids the damage being taken. The Luffy is now going to be huge. He's got 4 Dawn on him, making him 9k, and the blue player is forced to just take the damage. And this is where I was kind of saying, where like once you hit 10 Dawn, like there's a lot of just, it's kind of like Digimon, like early Digimon, where it felt like games just early, even now, like you know how it like towards the end of a Digimon game, like people just kind of win. Like there's no like, it's very it feels anticlimactic, kind of how some people tend to win a Digimon match. Like, you know, like I don't feel like that's hating. I don't think that's a take or something. I feel like, you know, there's a lot of Digimon matches where like you hit the end game and someone just kind of wins anticlimactically. Like, I don't know. That's just the feeling I get. Maybe it's just me. But put the Dawn under Mihawk, ideally to, you know, do some more hand filtering. He's got a blocker. He's got a really strong blocker. This is a 6k blocker he's got. In theory, he could swing for game here. He's got what looks to be 7 Dawn. The red player has only so many cards in his hand. Looks like 3-4 cards in his hand. This is another thing. Most counter cards are only 1k. So if you go in and you swing big, and he's forced to take like, right? Like there's so many. This is where it gets interesting. So like that Mihawk, he's what, 8k, 7k right now. He swings. His opponent would have to commit like 3 cards to that. So it's better just to take the damage. And then the next, but like you want to like put your opponent in a situation where they feel forced to let the hit through or use up resources. So it becomes this dynamic, like how many Dawn, where do I allocate my Dawn to properly force my opponent to either take the hit or properly, or like sacrifice the life. You know what I mean? I think it's interesting. I find this stuff mega. I find it very like mega interesting. All right, so okay, yeah, the Mihawk's 5k, so he's 6k swinging. He opts to take the hit, so I think that's in the favor of the blue player. Like that's huge for the blue player. Discard 2. And then he's going to put a Dawn under. At least put a Dawn under Crocodile, right? Do you try to go for game? It's very interesting because if he doesn't put enough under, I think there's a world where you split up the Dawn here. Oh no. Okay, I see what he's going with, the safe play. He's going to put 2 under Jinbei to force his opponent to like not counter it. Maybe he should have done enough to counter it, you know? See, that's where I'm getting at, right? Ideally we have to get rid of this Luffy, or this Brook, right? So I'm gonna swing Crocodile. He's only 4k. All right, VV for a 1k counter. Doesn't take the hit. So now we got Crocodile. We got a blocker. We got 1 life. I mean, any hit and Blue's dead, right? So he has to ensure that he has enough resources on board to. Oh, he's gonna use the Crocodile effect to get rid of the Dawn that are under his 2 guys, and I didn't know you could do that. That's kind of cool. It's interesting. It's a neat mechanic. And then bounce the Brook. So he has. So all he has to do is block the Luffy attack. So if you're the red player, you're basically saying, hey, I'm gonna make it so you're forced to block this Luffy with like, and lose your blocker and put myself in an advantage for the rest of the game. Oh, but he's gonna use the spell card, Diable Jambe or whatever. Okay, so this spell card basically, your character can't be blocked, and then he's just gonna shove 9. And this is where I mean, like, things just kind of end anticlimactically, right? Like all he did was play a 1 cost. I think it's a 1 cost option. Can't be blocked, and then shove as much damage under Luffy as possible to win the game, right? Stay tuned. Hopefully, well, I think I'm gonna do One Piece Wednesdays for a couple weeks. See if you guys like it. Hopefully you do, because I really want to get into One Piece, and that's where I want my channel to be, is both Digimon and One Piece. So, see you guys next time.